So first, we have MVP. Here are the three candidates. We have Pat Mahomes, Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers. We'll do Josh Allen first. Josh Allen, the first quarterback not named Tom Brady to win this division in
20 years.
Basically, I'm trying to think about. So Brady was injured the year after his 07 season. So maybe, and I don't think they won. Did they win the division that year?
I
can't remember.
I think they. I want to say they did.
But
they might have not.
Then it was Matt Castle. That was the last time. So it's been over 10 years since someone other than Tom Brady has been
he's
on the winning the AFC East. This is ridiculous. I think Josh Allen's improved so much as a quarterback. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks to have in fantasy because I always compare him to Cam Newton. And last year, he played exactly like Cam Newton. Ran a lot, was really hard to tackle, but ultimately was incredibly inaccurate. And now he solved so many of those accuracy problems. And part of that comes when you have three stud wide receivers. But he is one of those people.
And Steph Diggs is catching 75% of his passes. So
when we do the award, when we do the award for best wide receiver, that man is damn sure going to come up. But I think he's improved so much. The team is and as we can see through the playoffs, this isn't a playoff award, but the team's completely rallied around him. They believe in him, right? And it's just interesting that, I don't know. It's been so long since Buffalo's had a winner. And here's this guy that just kind of came out of nowhere. I think just kind of came out of nowhere last year. People thought he was good, but I don't think anyone thought he would care.
Yeah, no one.
The Bills are in the AFC Championship.
Yeah. No one had him as a top 10 quarterback. I don't think anyone even had him in the top 10 of quarterbacks last year. So,
and if you watch, the thing about him though, even though he's got all these wide receivers, the bombs go to the wide receivers and the inside routes go to guys like Beasley. But when he gets on the goal line, he's throwing it to Knox and Tyler Kroft and offensive linemen. Isaiah McKenzie had a big game. Josh Allen at the end of Gabriel Davis, another guy. There's all relevant players in this offense because he's just trying to score.
That offensive coordinator obviously plays a big role too.
Who the fuck is that? He just threw a touchdown to a guy named Smith. Josh Allen is elite. He went from being fun to watch and fun for fantasy to being a really elite quarterback and good. I don't know. That's why he's in the MVP discussion.
Yeah. I personally wouldn't have him in the MVP discussion, and it might just be. And I'm not I don't think that I'm a huge Josh Allen hater, but I just don't. I didn't look at him like that. I just think he had a solid 4 to 5 weeks of the season where he played very mediocre, and to me that kind of pulls you. We're gonna talk about two other guys as well, and part of the reason we make our decision is because the one guy pretty much smashed up the whole year, and you have to respect it. So I think that's what kind of and with Josh Allen, I just think he dead in the middle of the season, he just randomly played like crap, and the Bills were still winning, but he definitely didn't play like a MVP or like a top 5 quarterback to me. But I definitely think he got better, and I think I usually gave the credit to Steph Diggs because he changed that offense to me. I think the dynamic of the offense changed.
Sure.
But Josh Allen 100% got way better. There's no
no denying it. There's just no getting around that.
going from like 60% completion, 60% completion percentage to like 70 is like insane.
Let's check the stats on that, because compared to the other guys, he's right behind Aaron Rodgers, who we're going to talk about in a second, in completion percentage, but just over 1 percentage point, 70 and 69%. If there was a most improved player, I think he would definitely win it, 100%. And
okay,
I think, I don't know.
Like what? Like is most improved or like bounce back player of the year is also like I don't know if there would be an award like that, but that would be a very interesting one.
58 to 69, so his percentage jumped 11%.
Yeah,
and he gained 17 touchdowns, 17 more passing touchdowns this year, and 1,500 more yards.
Yeah,
and obviously it led to a way better record. And they were able to beat out the Patriots. Even though the Patriots sucked this year, that is important to me. That was
the first time. Yeah,
the last time the Patriots lost, we need to look it up. It matters. The last time the Patriots lost the division was like,
and the Patriots never got swept in their division either.
No,
that like in the Bill Belichick era, they never got swept. So that definitely holds weight.
But I gotta get there. Hold on.
It's the year before. Yeah,
I could do it this way. It's way easier to just do it this way.
They finished 7-9.
Yeah, they finished 7-9 this year. I'm trying to go. There we go.
Jesus. Oh, this year. Okay.
There we go.
I was like,
because it should say whether they division finish. Here we go. The last time they finished not first was fucking 2008. Exactly what I thought with Matt Castle.
Yeah.
But Brady has dominated this division for a decade. And it does matter that even though he's gone now, like, I don't know. I think he's going to have this division title for a long time. I think why, barring injury, would Josh Allen change his game? That's really the only thing that I could see changing his game, is he takes one of those like huge runs and he falls on his face the only
thing that I think can mess it up is, so right now and this is talking about the future and this is not about the MVP at all. Yeah. But he's gonna want this. He's right after this. He's up for a big contract, and he's probably gonna want Mahomes or Deshaun Watson kind of contract for what he just did.
I was about to say, I think he's earned it at this point.
Yeah. So if you go and if you make a ton of money, if you're making 40 million and taking away all of that from the cap, like now you're not able to have Steph Diggs for as long, or maybe you are, but maybe you might not have Cole Beasley, or you lose some of your weapons. Maybe you can't pay your defense as much. So that's the thing about when you're gonna pay your franchise quarterback and you want him to be there for the future in the long run. Are you going to be able to? Now your team is going to be centrally focused on that player. Is that player going to be able to win you, like, moving forward? Like, the reason the Patriots were able to dominate for so long is Tom Brady took pay cuts. You know what I mean? Like,
that's so funny, because that's what I was about to say. I was like, is Josh Allen one of those guys that? I mean,
it's just hard to tell somebody.
This might sound stupid, but maybe the Bills Mafia takes care of some of that. They're known for donating money, so
I guess, yeah.
I'm just fucking.
The whole thing is it's just hard to tell someone not to take the money to like he worked his whole life to get to this point. So
no, I know. I just am saying. I think you're absolutely right in that's what makes people at the quarterback position extend their winning window. Is when they don't take that max contract. And I will be interested to see who is the next quarterback to have that happen. Because, like, Pat Mahomes signed that big deal, but they still have Hill and Kelsey locked up. But that's where their money is.
And
that's it.
And the whole thing with Mahomes' deal, like, though it sounds like a huge number, the way that he worked out the deal makes it a very team-friendly deal because in over a 10-year span, and the way his guarantees work is based on
incentives.
Well, no, it's actually like starting next year, if he starts at QB next year, he's guaranteed for the year after, which is a very weird contract. Yeah, it's super weird. It's not normal for that. It's definitely written up.
I'll get the contract. Hold on, I'll get the contract stuff will appear on your screen in a minute, so everybody can look at it.
And so, but his is actually more team friendly because of him taking it for such a long run. Because in reality, the NFL is going to start they're going to add another game. I think next year they're supposed to add another game, so that's more revenue. And but the cap is going down because of the whole COVID shit. So it all is weird, but over the span of 10 years, it's a huge team friendly deal.
Speaking of Mr. Pat Mahomes, he's our next candidate for MVP. So talk to me about him. Yeah. He's your
so
man.
We talk. We on the podcast through DraftKings and everything. We've talked about this a bunch, but Mahomes was one of the clear-cut candidates for MVP throughout most of the year, and then I don't know. He brought his team to what was it 14-1? Was his record this year?
They finished. I don't even think did they lose that game against the Chargers?
Yeah, they did.
So then it must be 14-2.
No, but his record as
record as a quarterback is 14-1. Yeah.
Was 14-1. He only played 15 games. Gave us almost 40 touchdowns. Gave us almost 5,000 receiving yards, and he clearly dominated the competition throughout. Whenever he faced a playoff caliber team, he was up double digits at some point in the game. And to me, that just shows that you're the best player in the league, and you should be a candidate for MVP.
What a world we live in, where a guy like this who dominated the league is now looked at as, this is a subpar year for him. It's so crazy. I think he's too young to get that. Like, this is a really good year. 4,700 yards, 37 or 38 touchdown passes.
38 touchdowns. And he didn't play the last game of the season. Like, that's the part that's crazy to me. The guy that we have third in MVP had 37 touchdowns and whatever amount and this guy, he finished with more touchdowns, more receiving yards. I mean not receiving yards. Passing yards, and he played one less game.
He had 120 less rushing yards and 6 less rushing touchdowns, but he had way less interceptions. He had a stretch of having no picks for a while, a lot like Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah,
but
just like we mentioned with Josh Allen, Mahomes had that last 6 game stretch where I wouldn't say he was bad, but he definitely played not to his level. Like, but I personally put that to the team, knowing that I think the last 3 games of the season they already had the AFC locked up, so they pretty much were just trying to get through the rest of the year healthy. But to me, that's gonna hurt your case for MVP because we don't care about that. We don't care that you had the AFC locked up at that point. You still got to perform in Aaron Rodgers.
Well, it's just one of those things where in another year, maybe he's still in that top spot for MVP, considering record and what he did for the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I mean, if he would have played the last game,
right,
and let's say he would have got 3 touchdowns, 300 yards or something like that, went 41 and 5 with 5,000 yards. That would have been, you have way more of an argument going 15-1. Like your argument becomes a little better, and it's harder to just be like, oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers is clear. But with just it just kind of makes it like when the guy who's most likely gonna win it has 10 more touchdowns than you, 1 less pick. It just makes it so
tough.
Yeah.
It's just really difficult. But as you said, against playoff teams, he's he dominated them early and often. And I think that should matter when it comes to these conversations is the level of competition. But as you said, there is a man who plays quarterback for the Green Bay Packers who was motivated by Jordan Love being drafted. And also, when you combine that with him saying this is the healthiest he has felt in years. When you also combine that with there being no fans in the crowd, so he can make all his little checks and reads at the line of scrimmage, as you can see in New Orleans. He said it was the quietest New Orleans stadium he's ever, he didn't know it could get that quiet.
Yeah.
And when you have that happen, the best quarterback with the best system will take over in these situations. And this guy is
he's one of the most intelligent ones.
Yeah,
too. He's just so, and he's so smart at reading when you sent me that one video of the guy breaking down film, and just showing all the ways he pretty much broke down the Rams defense. That was just amazing. It was all before the snap. He knew exactly what he was going to do before the snap and where he was going to go.
It's all based on whether the emotions are coming, and that's also from Matt LaFleur. And we're going to talk about him when we get to Coach of the Year. But all these different play calls, all these different offensive schemes, the best route runner in football in Davante Adams, and a amazing running game in Aaron Jones, and A.J. Dillon, when he had to take over, dominated as well. So, Robert Tonyan, and this is the main thing. With Davante Adams, I know he would be good with other quarterbacks, but with the rest of these guys, he's making a lot of these guys.
Yeah, and he just when you're setting them up for success, all right, these guys are going. The defense is going here. Run this route and you're going to be wide open. You know what I mean? It's going to be in that Rams game, and this has nothing to do with the MVP because obviously it's the postseason, but in that Rams game, there was so many times that he just had easy runs he set up a run play that he knew he was going to get 5 or 6 yards on it because of the way he was running the run game or whatever. And then that one route where he pretty much was faking he was gonna do that same run play, and instead he does the slant to Adams, and gets a 12-yard play. You know what I mean?
The RPO is there's options everywhere because he's got the back option screen, he's got the run if he needs it, and he's got the slant. It's deadly, and it's all instinctive. You have to do it on a split second.
And he's able to read the defense and know exactly where he's going to go with it beforehand, and he's putting these guys in successful positions. And so, and I was telling you this before, but I was super impressed with Aaron Rodgers this year. And I know most people are probably listening to me and saying, do you know who the fuck Aaron Rodgers is? and I do have to say that I am an infant when it comes to football, because I really started watching the game, all the game, pretty much red zone and everything, in 2018 when that was when I first started playing doing fantasy and stuff. So Aaron Rodgers got injured that year, and then in 2019, like you mentioned, he was injured throughout the year, and he was playing in a brand new system.
True.
So I didn't really get to see Aaron Rodgers as himself, and during this time span, I drafted all these Chiefs in my the first year, and I'm just watching this guy named Pat Mahomes, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy is fucking amazing, not knowing that there was a guy before him that plays almost identical and in Aaron Rodgers. But you want to know what? It's still Chiefs all day. Fuck this dude. But I'm showing some respect right now because going 48-6 is insane, and I honestly do think that this is one of the greatest seasons as a quarterback. I think it might be the greatest season as a quarterback, because you usually don't see quarterbacks throwing for over 45 touchdowns and having single-digit interceptions. That doesn't usually happen.
These are some of the best quarterbacks of the last 20 years, definitely. All in their, I think it's their 16th season. I want to make sure.
Yeah, guys. So if you guys are just crying and wondering why Mahomes isn't on this, it's because of that.
It's because he's not old enough.
Yeah,
But Aaron Rodgers, for his age, this is easily the best season that anyone's ever had. The 48 touchdown passes is the most by a mile. The 5 interceptions. The QB rating is 20 points ahead of Tom Brady in second. And absolutely, for his age, this could easily be the best season ever for a quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, when we look at some of the best seasons of all time by quarterbacks, these are all the guys with the touchdown passes ahead of Rodgers on this list. Right? We got Aaron Rodgers, easily, or not easily, actually, it's close between Manning.
Yeah.
And Manning in 2004, this is the season that made me fall in love with football. When he threw the 49 touchdown passes and broke Dan Marino's record. That was like unheard of at the time.
That's crazy.
It could never have been done.
But isn't it so interesting? Like just look at that. Like your first year of watching football was, Peyton Manning at his probably all-time high, doing the craziest shit ever.
Yes.
And then my first year of watching football is watching Pat Mahomes. Like it's just crazy how that stuff like that works out. Like just watching these great quarterbacks just wild out, and then you just become fans.
Like, I don't know. Peyton Manning was one of my favorite players ever, and of course I can't find highlights in the moment, but that's one of my favorite seasons ever. I don't know if it's better than Aaron Rodgers' season. Which is crazy. Crazy. Like, I don't know, because Aaron Rodgers was just he was so damn good. He has one more win.
He has the highest completion percentage out of all these guys.
Yes, he does. It's the only one at 70%.
And he has the highest interception. the
least amount of interceptions.
No, I was gonna say highest touchdown to interception ratio.
Oh, sure.
Between all of them, so it's like, and then how many more passes? So look at how efficient he was. Like he threw significantly less passes than mostly all of them, besides Peyton. But he had just about the same exact touchdown. You know what I mean? Like so,
which is so crazy. That is the evolution of the game, because Peyton Manning kind of made it cool in 2004. Like no one was doing it before Manning was really out there, like setting audibles and doing hot routes and shit. He was the first guy to really set that all up at the line of scrimmage, where they run in no huddle and trying to gas out the defense. And that's so interesting, because it's a complete evolution of the game. But if I was going to pick any season here, I think I'm picking Tom Brady's season in 2007. I hate Tom Brady with a passion. And I really hated him during this season, because it just felt like, in the moment, it felt like, great. He's just stacking the deck against Peyton Manning. And Randy Moss, when he got to the Patriots, said Peyton Manning's had his receivers in Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark and all those guys. And now it's time to see what Tom Brady can do with some real receivers. Because before this, Tom Brady had like Jabbar Gaffney and like very late round picks. The philosophy was always, fucking Tom will figure it out. And he would win championships. But
still, all the way until he left, it was pretty much that.
They got Randy Moss. They got Dante Stallworth. They had Wes Welker.
Yeah.
Like a full, complete receiving core. Kind of like what you see with Josh Allen. I think I would compare it to that. Like, Diggs is obviously not the same guy Randy Moss is, but I would compare it like that in terms of like 3 guys that could get the job done and 1 elite stud wide receiver. and Brady unleashed hell on the whole league. Absolutely smashing every single human being, man, woman, or child.
So my thing,
none of these games are close. Like, I could click to any point in this season. It's never close. The 28-7. Look, I just clicked to a random spot in the video. And look, Randy Moss absolutely dominating two guys, just destroying their souls. Like, that's what this season was. And it sucked to watch because I live in New York. So I watched every single game because it was on local television. It was them and the Jets. And when they played the Jets, it was literally like, if you ever seen the Red Wedding in Game of Thrones, it's a lot of that, like that, especially when the pregnant woman gets stabbed. It's a lot of that. That's how bloody and horrible it is.
Yeah, but so my only argument against this is, like you mentioned,
38-0. Continue.
he was able to stack the deck against Payton or whatever, and we literally just said it like 5 minutes ago. Aaron Rodgers, besides Devontae Adams, you probably wouldn't say that he has the craziest receiving core, and he was able to put up 48 and 6, and that efficiently. So that's the only reason that his QBR, his quarterback rating is pretty. Wasn't it higher than Brady's too? Like, I think it's definitely an argument. A lot of people just hold that 2008 season, or 2007 season as nostalgia because it was just one of the greatest things. And then obviously. Randy Moss broke the touchdown record for a receiver as well.
Oh
so
my God!
He battered it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if that might never. I don't know. That will probably get broken because of the way passing is just like continuing.
If Devontae Adams didn't get injured, he could have had a chance.
Let me tell you something, Dario. The one guy I think who has a real shot to break it if they just like went for it is Tyreek Hill. Oh, I think he could get 25 touchdowns if they were just like, dude, you're running 3 goes a game, and we're gonna throw it to you every time. I think he catches 2 out of 3, and in 17 games, so I'll put you pretty close.
He had 15 tutties this year, I think 15 or 17 tutties this year.
Yeah, he had 3 in one quarter one time against the Bucks. He ate them alive. Like anyone, but it's just like if people decided, Tyreek Hill's old, like he's not the same fast guy. Like if they had a Randy Moss moment, because that's what I think happened with Randy Moss more than anything, which was people just doubted him, and they were like, "Oh, okay." He was like, "Oh, I'll just score 1 billion touchdowns then and catch it over."
He had the worst year of his. He had the worst year of his career
with the Raiders. The year before.
So I think that's what really fucked him up. But I think if that could probably happen if Mahomes and them lose somehow. They'll probably just come back with a huge vengeance, and it'll be the greatest thing ever.
But I agree. I think Aaron Rodgers is definitely going to end up winning MVP this season.
Yeah, he has.
And
I was fighting this. If you guys were following the podcast. I was fighting this for the longest because at the time it was neck and neck, and then once I can't remember, it just
it did happen a specific week. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Then I kind of just was like, you gotta give it. And I'm on it. Like I'm the first to admit it. I'm a Mahomes cock eater, and don't do that. You don't. Nope. I think that okay.
It'll be fine.
And you have to be real. Like real recognize real. Even though he's gonna get fucked up in the Super Bowl, he could win MVP for now. All we care about is Super Bowl MVP.
I really hope we get that battle.
We will.
Oh, we will. I hope you're right. But the NFL likes to fuck with you come Super Bowl season and give you a bad matchup. So we'll see what happens. But I definitely think Aaron Rodgers is the MVP this year.